Good morning, healthcare hustlers. I got an intro today for you, Tony. Welcome to PT Breakfast Club, where the takes are hot, the coffee is iced, and the strategy hits harder than your last continuing education course. Today, we're diving into diamonds, controversy, and clinic content. Maybe he's too busy booking brand new patients to join us. Oh, no, here he is. We're going to show you how to turn your big culture plays into real growth moments for your practice. Dave Kittle on cue. Talk about the Dave, and the Dave arrives. So it's no secret that how we generate ideas for the show is a little bit like how Jimmy's brain works. I don't know if I don't want to throw you guys under the bus, but my brain is like sporadic. I see something in the moment, we throw it in the group chat, and then we'll remember it later. Like sometimes we'll sit down to like go live, and Tony or Dave will be like, "Let's talk about that thing you suggested, Jimmy." And I'm like, I have no recollection of what you're talking about. But good thing we have the group chat. But this came in hot off the press. Were you sharing this morning, Dave? The images. I don't want to go too far, so I want you to lead this off.
Yeah, it was this morning.
Perfect. All right, so set it up. I think it's brilliant. Even me, one eye, head still on pillow as I'm reading it, thought it was brilliant. So walk us through this. This is awesome. I think people can do this today.
Well, it's a free offer for new or current clients of ours to get a free treatment visit, but they have to. The only catch is that they have to agree to video record the whole thing. Now I know Tony does a lot of this. We have the brick and mortar in Manhattan, but it's kind of like a subletted situation, so we're still mostly home visits. I haven't had everyone sign the social media release up front like Tony, but long story short is a month or a couple months ago, spending a lot on Google ads, I can get a ton of leads. I heard something from Alex Hormozy and it like blew my mind. It was something very simple.
Okay.
There's leads, and then there's engaged leads. I can spend a ton of money on Google ads, and sometimes I do get our ideal client, someone who's, they're looking for the best, whatever. They want the home visits. They want what we offer. But then we also got to filter through the Medicaid and the Medicare, leads that are just looking for the insurance-based offers. So I sent to you guys a screenshot of what I just started sending out yesterday and last night. It's a golden ticket. You got to name it, right? We've talked about it before.
Have a name.
It's a free treatment golden ticket. Let me pull it up because I'm on my phone, so it's a little small. So I made this on. Where do you think I made this? By the way, this digital offer.
Canva,
ChatGPT, Dolly. Canva.
Chat GPT, baby. I made this from Chat GPT. I also, by the way, not a plug for them because they don't need it because they're a huge company. I just signed up yesterday for the paid account because it was taking too long for them to generate these images, and I was like texting Chat GPT like, "What's taking so long? Like, you process my image, please." Like it's like waiting, and a lot of people are processing images. So I typed out the description of this. ChatGPT made this. Is it on the screen? Can you show it full screen? There we go. All right. So full treatment, golden ticket, concierge pain relief, physical therapy. Must agree to video recording for social media. This includes all treatments, including stim pod, cupping, taping, stretching, back cracking, soft tissue, joint, spine. It's our phone number, a QR code that links to our website, and 4 of 25, a little bit of scarcity.
No,
expiration date the end of this month, so a little bit of urgency.
Yep.
I'm trying to utilize all the aspects that are often utilized or needed, and so I started to send this to friends, baseball buddies, folks that follow me on Instagram that are in the New York City area. And the other image that you shared was like me basically sending this image to folks and saying like, "Hey, like I know you're in the New York City area." This person, by the way, this screenshot, like I've never met this person. So
you've never met this person? This is a cold message?
So this person has been following me. I never met them, but they've messaged me about like the baby. I don't even know if they're following. I don't know if it's a PT. I don't know if it's someone like in the M&A space, but they're in the New York City area.
Wow.
There was a little. No, listen. In March and April, there was a back and forth, but about random stuff, like about New York City and kids.
I know, it's just so great though. Like that doesn't make any sense, but it makes complete sense.
Yeah. So like because I don't know, it's irrelevant, but like I was posting stories in March when we were doing like the baby's first birthday photos, and this person in the New York City area that follows me on Instagram was asking me like, hey, who's that photographer? And I was like, oh, she's on Staten Island. It's so and so. Here's her name, whatever, whatever. That's how the conversation started. But then I just hit her with that DM last night, like, hey, since you're in the New York City area, we're offering free treatments to new and existing clients who are okay with video recording the treatment for social media, house calls, or Midtown Manhattan office and the street address. Feel free to share with anyone nearby who's dealing with aches, pains, or stress. And then you can see what she says here. She goes, let me talk to my husband. He's got regular neck pain, so he could be interested, especially if it's a house call. Now, I don't know where they live. I'm assuming it's Manhattan, but obviously we'd have to clarify and confirm that. But I am stepping away from Google ads. I am working on leveraged word of mouth, meaning physician marketing, concierge physicians that send us patients.
Yes.
Those patients that do not bat an eye about our self-pay rate. And then I'm also the folks that are kind of like in their 20s, 30s, 40s, like maybe they really can't or don't want it, they can't afford our offering or they don't want to do it. Those are the folks that are going to be on our social media, getting treatment in their home. Maybe they come to my home if I know them and we'll record it there. And the idea is that I'm going to record this stuff. I'm going to have my therapist, Porus Mehta, delivering the treatment. I don't want to be in the videos. I want to produce the content. And then in the future, if that works out well, then in the future it would be like, hey, I'm going to hire like some videographer or whatever.
Yep.
And then you guys chop it up or send it to Jimmy McKay and his team or whatever. And
this is
so that's the idea.
Drew would kill at this. My buddy Drew, who's a videographer. Like, this is so smart. Like, I don't even know. Like, do I just be quiet or do I go through everything that I like about this? Like, do I just go like, hey, no notes, or do I want to? Because you were pointing out all the elements, right? If you were Donald Miller or if you were Seth Godin, you'd point out like the first thing you see in this message. Number one, it's gold. It stands out, right? It's the golden ticket.
Jimmy, I want to hear all your feedback. Let's go.
I don't know feedback as much as just like chef's kiss, man. Golden ticket. I got to see what this is. Name's nice and big. You pointed out. It's pretty clear, right? Like, you drew me in. The goal of the headline is to get me to read the next line. The goal of the next line is to get me to read one more line. So you got me with free treatment. Like, that's my favorite. It's my second favorite F word is free. Golden ticket, concierge pain relief. I would say the only free treatment. 4 out of 25 makes it feel exclusive. The exploding offer expiration June 30th. Very clear 2 ways to engage, the QR code or the phone number. You used words that they use, backcracking. Like, that's not evidence-based. We don't call it. Doesn't matter. They call it.
I read it to my wife Annie, who's also PT, and she was like, I was like, hey, what do you think of this? I had on my laptop, and literally the only thing she said was backtracking. And I'm like, I know, but I could write spinal manipulation, but spinal adjustments. I'm just like, let me just try to go 5th to 8th grade reading level. Like, it's going to resonate the fastest with most people. They read it in 2 seconds. Like, come on.
Yeah. So it's clear, it's concise, it's fun, it's different. It does not taste medical, but it is, right, at its core. Like, it's physical therapy. And then the delivery method, like cold DMing people that you've already, it doesn't matter how they know you, how they like you, or how they might trust you. You don't know. She does, right? And we clipped her name out, right? But it's such a great response.
Yes, thank you for that.
I don't need this, but let me talk to my husband. Like, she's now, I call it like the running back is now carrying the ball past the defensive line. You're into the secondary now, man. She's now going to share this for you. You didn't have to beg. Share with your friends. Tag someone below who might need this, right? That's a cheesy way of doing it. She did it without you really asking. She was like, this sounds great. I understand what it is. I'm now going to share with someone I obviously care about, my husband. So I would love to, let's mark it down like 2-3 weeks from now. I want to see how many messages you sent, how many responses you got, and then how many videos you were able to shoot out of this. And then what the videos were able to bring. This is great. This is so easy. It's so easy, though. It's simple. Tony hasn't said a word.
Tony is so quiet. I'm afraid. Like, I'm about to get kicked off the show or something. What's going on?
No. So I've got a technical question with the QR code, and I might have asked this before. I know you can scan it with your phone, but if the ticket's on the phone, does the QR code do anything?
I
can answer.
haven't tried that aspect, but
You
if they're getting the ticket on their phone, can you screenshot it and then
You can. It's 4 steps long. The only other thing I would say is if they respond, just drop the link there. That's it. Like the hyperlink, right? Because I was gonna knock like QR codes on phones, but she could also show it to someone. You can do it with Google Lens. It's like 4 or 5 steps. So if I was gonna give a note, it would be that. But like, I don't.
But I think the QR code, even if it's not like an effective whatever, it still brings validation to it. Like, hey, this is a real thing. It's a real, piece of paper or whatever. Like Jimmy said, I love the fact that it wasn't the person that got it. It was the person that got it is giving it to somebody else. That gifting effect, I think, is huge, because same thing. Like if you sent me that, I would feel guilty using it because I don't want you to give me something for free. But then if I could take that and give it to somebody else, now I feel like, okay, there's, I'm not taking advantage of you, but I'm giving it to somebody else who will use it. I think there's huge value in that. I love the concept. Obviously, I love video. I love video of real people. I could see taking something like this also as a reactivation campaign.
Big time.
You go back and you look through your database and you're like, hey, John, it's been a couple months. We're creating content. You had such a great story. I'd love to share it. Listen, we're doing a deal. Come on in. It's no cost to you as long as you let me record. And I want to, create content from your story. I think this could be taken 100 different ways.
Yeah. I mean, so wait, how are you thinking about executing this? You're going to all right. So now you've got, let's say 10 people follow through and they're like, I'm in, say less. Are you going to do this as one-offs? Because now you got to coordinate 3 people. Yeah.
Go ahead.
What's next?
So let's just say let's say if you two were in the New York City area and you replied to it, right? The idea is it's going to be a one-off. So, Jimmy is maybe Jimmy's a previous patient. Maybe Jimmy is someone who I just DM because you follow me or whatever.
Right.
We know each other somehow. So if I send this to Jimmy McKay and Jimmy replies like, hey, I'm interested, the approach is we're going to tell them, hey, we're going to have them e-sign or in-person sign whatever this social media release is, which I'll also generate on ChatGPT. I think I have one somewhere, but I'll probably have to do another one. So Jimmy signs that. He gets the free treatment. Now, I would also, sidebar, I want to get your feedback on the pros and cons of doing the normal nerdy physical therapy evaluation and treatment, or do you just do all the highlighted, stim pod and maybe an adjustment or maybe some stretching or whatever specifically for the camera, like where I'm telling my therapist Porus, like, all right, do this, and I'm doing different angles, because then the patient or client, like we benefit from the content, but then the patient and client, like, are they actually getting the real experience? So, Jimmy's saying maybe I could do both ways.
Do both. Like, because number one, this is a sell. Like, you are selling to this one person. Like,
correct. Yeah.
They've already sort of half sold, but like, I'd love to see like, hey, I gave this free treatment, which a lot of times I'm against, like people are against, right?
I've been against it. I've been against it forever, but there was
this isn't that. This isn't, because even if this is a 0, it's able to also generate something else. So that's why I'm 1000% okay with it. I say you do your regular stuff and then you can choose what you share different places, because you're giving an experience and you're sharing everything. So I would say if I got you for an hour, share and do and shoot everything.
And it's going to be 1 or 2 visits with Jimmy. It's not going to be an ongoing.
More than 1. That's smart.
Maybe 1 or 2. It's not going to be more than that. But then that the idea would then to convert, like how many of these folks can we convert to a full plan of care, to whether we check their out-of-network insurance benefits. If they don't have out-of-network, then can we sell them a package? Can we sell them the self-pay rate, whatever? But some, like, more folks with service-based businesses will then convert because they've actually experienced the value of what we do, the convenience. Like, oh, someone came here, they showed up, they came to my home, they're presentable, they're professional, they know what they're talking about. Oh, and I felt 5 or 10 or 20% better in the first hour. So then if they have some issue later also, like let's say 6 months, 12 months down the line, if they have an injury, whatever, back pain, then who are they going to call first? They're going to call someone who already treated them, right?
And if someone they know, just like this woman did with her husband, it's like, I went with this guy, Dave. I'm good. Actually, that's the problem, is I'm good, but you go with this guy. Okay. I would go, the only thing I would suggest, and you might have already done this, is I would go into it with at least the idea of what are 3 to 5 different videos I want to get out of it. Give the shooter a shot sheet. Like, I need,
totally.
you know
Totally.
what I mean? Like, I need this, I need this. And this way you can sort of check off, and it's not, because I've been there. Listen, I'm pretty good at winging it. But then when you get to sit down later and you're editing and you're like, I don't have that shot, sucks to be you. You can't do it. So I would say go in with a shot sheet. And again, you can generate that with AI too, which would be great. Hey, give it the setup. Hey, keep that thread. And this way the GPT all like understands the whole concept, and they can generate the shot sheet. Then you can show them what footage. I mean, you can explain what footage you have, and it could probably help you edit. I mean, this is where like a really skilled videographer is worth their weight in gold.
Yeah, we grab clips. I kind of know in my head, okay, I want to get some Shockwave stuff today. I want to get some New Fit stuff today. I want to get the Blaze Pods or whatever. It's a combination of, I know what I want to do with this particular patient. And then it goes into, I know what shot I want to get for social media. So it is a little back and forth. Now, this is brand new for your people. I guarantee, it's going to be uncomfortable. It's going to be awkward. It's going to be a lot of wasted footage and stuff, but that's just kind of the learning process and going through it. But like Jimmy said, I would focus on the person that's there. The content will create itself basically. And then the primary objective is, hey, let's create something that is unique that nobody else is showing or has shown. And then if we get a client out of this long-term, even better.
Even better. Yeah, it's a great idea. And the fact that it has a name, it is the golden ticket. I really want to hear somebody in the audience who's like, okay, I'll do this too. And we can test. This is science, baby. It's like, if Dave gets great results, you'd be like, well, he's in New York City. It wouldn't work here. I'm like, good. I want 6 people. I want someone in Iowa. Like, we always bag on Iowa. I want someone from Iowa to be like, it didn't think this would work.
You always bag on Iowa. We don't mention Iowa at all.
Guilty by association, man. Guilty by association. So this is great. It's the golden ticket. So wait, you did this when? Like, let's just talk like the final thoughts.
All yesterday. This is yesterday.
Good. So it's like just starting. How many actual people responded? Like, actually were like, let me think about it, of course.
I mean, I don't know, 5 so far.
That's
I mean,
fine.
I probably sent it to like 10 or 15. Like, the response rate is huge already because,
that's
well,
a
most
crazy
of the people that they're already following me or know me. I didn't send it to like cold people.
Yes, you earned their attention, right, at stage 1, like, and now you're converting that attention in an active way, not a passive way.
Do you want to see how I actually started to use this with someone on Instagram that had not even followed me yesterday? They just commented something. If you want to pull it up on Instagram.
Yeah, can you send it to me? Oh, on your Instagram?
On Concierge Pain Relief.
Yeah,
I'll like a comment, and then how I took the comment into DM. I'm not going to show the DM, but it's like the same DM as what we showed earlier.
And
so
while he's doing that, let me ask you, go back. I don't know if you said it. Why do you want to move away from Google Ads and that stuff?
Because I'm not getting a sufficient amount of ideal patients and clients from. I'm not getting engaged leads. I mean, sometimes we get someone that is the ideal client, but for whatever reason, like, there's just more of this trust of either the leverage word of mouth from a concierge physician, or it's the word of mouth, like the thing with knowing people that we've treated in the past and they refer us, like internal word of mouth, organic. And then also the social media stuff. So this digital offer is kind of like, I'm trying, and then the video stuff that Tony has been doing forever. Like, I want to do more of that, and I've seen the benefit of it, and so I want to have more investments in these other places. That what I'm really finding out is, and another company, Provatus Home Care, like, they're a self-pay nursing company in New York City. They send me patients. They also don't bat an eye on their ideal client. Like, when they hear our offer or the dollar amount, they're like, all right, fine, no problem.
Good.
All right. So can
the right
you
spot?
scroll down a little bit
Yeah.
to there's like a quadricep.
Right here?
Keep going. No, a little bit lower.
How often do you post on this account, this
Not
Instagram?
not enough. Not enough.
Is this the, I mean, look at the knee here.
Keep going a little bit lower. Sorry.
Here?
To the yeah, right there to the left. All right. So this is public. So you can see in the comments, Susan Chang.
Right here.
So she just commented yesterday, wow, is this injected and then stimulated? And obviously it's not. So what's interesting is that user, that person, Susan, on her account, she's posting this. All her content is about, she recently tore 90% of her ACL and she was working at some New York City corporate company or whatever. And she commented on this other orthopedic surgeon's Instagram account. And I saw her comment on his account. I clicked into her page and I just liked one or two of her posts. And then hours later, I look at Instagram. She commented this. She commented on another StimPod video. So there's a video that I posted on StimPod. Tony's been saying, hey, I got to post more videos of StimPod. I got maybe 2 or 3 or something. And she was asking, is this like an injection and stimulation, whatever? And so if you see my response here to her, I go, hi, Susan. Sorry to hear about your ACL. No, it's not an injection. This is non-invasive. It's the StimPod for nerve pain, muscle stimulation, overall blood flow and circulation and healing. Interested in trying it out on your quad? ? And so then she's like, yeah, I'm interested. Absolutely. So then I DM'd her and said, hey, well, I DM'd her like, hey, here's how we can, like, if you're interested, here's what, we'll send you more information tomorrow, which is today. And after speaking with her, that was part of the impetus to make this digital, the golden ticket, the free offer, the free treatment, because I think she's posting other content around, she got laid off or something at her corporate job. So it's like, she might not have the funds or the insurance anyway. So it's like, hey, she's probably going to be a candidate that's going to say yes, because she's already commenting on a surgeon's profile on Instagram. Right. So she's going to be a candidate to then post, and maybe she'll post it on her account. Now she's got a couple of thousand followers, nothing crazy, but it's like hyper locals. So
also like a great way to slide into people's DMs if you're a single person is like showing value and then just following up in the DMs. Also, Tony, I noticed you did not get the early morning memo that we're going with the white V-neck t-shirt today. So I didn't know if you didn't notice that, but Tony's
I'm liking this because a couple past several episodes, sometimes we're all wearing like a dark shirt.
Yeah,
we're in spring, so yeah, now, we're lightening up the mood.
Hold on a second. I have a segment all ready to go, but we might go sideways here. Here's a crazy and then. Look at this woman's, this is who you're just talking about. This is Susan Chang.
Yep.
Right? 2,000 followers. I have to follow her now, but that's not the amazing part. She is, I'm just barely looking at her content, and she's doing like 11 weeks post-op. She's journaling Lockman test, week 10. She's journaling her recovery from non-surgical stem cell ACL, 90% torn and recovery.
So she didn't have surgery then?
Right. Non-surgical stem cell ACL recovery. Like, you didn't engineer this. Could you?
What do you mean?
What I'm getting at is you are looking for your golden ticket, which is brilliant. And you're looking to have people come on and show off in real time what you're doing. Could you now turn your client and get deeper permission and say, listen, you're an ideal person. Susan, you're the person I'm looking for. You're the needle in the stack of needles of people that I did golden ticket videos with. What I want to do now is I want to open a new Instagram account together. It's all about you. And now we're going to feature your recovery. You are now turning Susan. I mean, she's already doing it, but could you turn someone else into an avatar to now create content? Nothing on her account says anything about concierge pain relief or Dave Kittle or anything. It's just Susan. And now when Susan's doing stuff, of course, Dave's videographer would be making all of it, right? Because Susan's like, I just want to show up and be Susan and get treatment for free because she just lost her job, but she wants the best treatment, and Dave's the guy. I'll do that in exchange for you're going to be a character in my documentary series that's real, raw, and gritty. It looks like Instagram videos. It is Instagram videos. Could you create your ideal patient, a new account that Dave owns, that Susan's the star of? Do you see where I'm going with this?
Absolutely love it. Tony already knows this. People already do this. People create accounts and they're like, I'm an MS warrior. I'm a Parkinson's soldier. I don't like people already do this, right, Tony?
Yeah,
On
yeah,
their own,
for
and
sure.
without being paid, without being affiliated with any practice.
Correct.
They put
Because it's
time
their
and effort into
story.
this.
This isn't about social media. It's about media that is social. It's somebody doing something that they care about and they're willing to do it. And people document their recovery all the time. I mean, I'm in a lot of times in neuro rehab, a lot of stroke Facebook groups that I'm in, spinal cord injury. It's people looking for community. And what do? You talk about the stuff you know. So this would be manufacturing a way for her to do that thing that she's already doing. But you could partner with Susan, who's doing it now, or could you find someone and make them your star? Stop being the face, make someone else the face. I don't know. There's a little effort there, but there could be a lot of payoff.
Now, I would have assumed that account, she's promoting or selling or whatever the non-surgical offer.
No link. She's got no link. There's no link.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, from what I'm seeing, and I'm looking at the thumbnails.
Yeah.
It appears it's a passion project, like
she's
many of
just
these
doing
accounts
it
are.
because she wants people to come along. 10 weeks since tearing 90% of my ACL. 8 weeks since getting stem cell treatments. 1 week since passing Lockman's test. Like that's literally what she wrote.
However, Tony could absolutely be right at the same time. This could be a play where she gets a commission because she's not a provider. She could get a commission when she sparks up DM conversations with other potential ACL patients. And then she's like, oh, here's the place I use. Here's the surgeon. Here's the whatever, stem cell. Here's where they got the stem cells. Here's their process, whatever. I'll send you the link, or if you want more information, I can connect you, whatever. Absolutely. It could be. Who knows?
Her account says day by day comeback. Does that mean she has to shoot a video every day? No. She could meet with Dave and his videographer for 5 hours and be like, see you in a month and a half, because we got a month and a half's worth of stuff. All right, we're going to meet you at the seaport. We're going to do a bunch of stuff. Great. Outfit change. All right, over here, we're going to do this. It's storytelling at its absolute finest. If it is subversive, if she is doing that, and whoever set this up,
genius.
If it's not, it's just a reason for you to do everything we just talked about.
Hey, there's a ton of probably unemployed actors and actresses in New York City off Broadway that are between gigs that are, they can't make rent, whatever. Like this is acting. This is now. I thought I had the great idea today bringing this on, and Jimmy saw the idea, and he and the idea.
And let me anti-yes and that. Why hasn't an ATI, an IV rehab, an Athletico already done this?
Oh, they're too busy billing units. We've been through this.
I can also tell you why. They have marketing departments, but nobody gets fired for picking IBM. Nobody gets fired for going to Canva and finding the trending audio, and that's how we're going to grow. This is a bold idea that someone would need to put their balls on the line for, because if it didn't work, right, they'd be looked upon poorly. Or you could do the status quo and you could get 0.2% growth over time. Put your money in a savings account and watch it grow. It doesn't grow, right? This is putting your guts out there. I don't know. You could do 6, like doing one of these, we'll call it a Susan, right? Your golden ticket, then you find a Susan, you create a Susan, right? You could do 10 of these. Like setting up the structure is the hard part. Getting more than one Susan is simpler because now you have the structure, you replicate it, and everybody understands the playbook. It's just a little. Susan's our ACL avatar, Morty is our older adult who wants to, still feed birds in the park and be able to go up and down subway stairs. You find your avatars and then you get out of their way. It'd be dumb for a major PT clinic or orthopedic surgeon, like something in before and after. You were in the before and after business. Everybody keeps thinking we're the during business. No, dude, we're the before and after business. So I think this is a great idea and someone should steal it. I hope they do.
Real quick, I think a little hack that Dave came upon, and I don't know if you realize it or not. I noticed this probably a year or two ago. When you start going to someone's profile, I believe your content is more likely to show up in their feed. So I can't target with paid ads one specific person. But if I go to their profile and start engaging with their content, looking at their content, my content is more likely to show up in their profile. And so if we take this to, okay, I want an orthopedic surgeon in my area, I want some other referral source or a specific patient population, I start visiting those profiles, I start engaging with their content. It's more likely that my content shows up for them organically.
Yes.
And now we start to get this back and forth.
This just reinforces the idea that, like, Dave, do you have time to be like clicking on profiles and doing this? Like, maybe now you do, but like this, you're starting to see where like this is enough to have maybe not a full-time role, but a fractional role. This is where I was playing with the idea yesterday with a buddy of mine. I mentioned Drew before. Drew's a buddy of mine who's done videos and photos for me for years. We worked together at an organization, and now we sort of do stuff on the side together. You might not have to hire Drew full-time. Like if Drew's like, I want to make $100,000 a year, and Dave's like, I don't have $100,000 to pay Drew. You'd be like, great, I get Drew 1 day a week. That's 20 grand a year. And you're like, 20 grand a year? Like, what's that divided by 12? So now you're a fractional videographer. And Drew's like, I got to find 4 Daves in 4 cities. And you hire Drew because Drew's like, I'm a videographer first, but I understand healthcare. And you get the benefit as a Dave when Drew's working for 4 other people of the stuff that he tried for them that didn't work. Don't do that. We tried it. Didn't work. Or here's what we did. We took a risk and it worked. So it's almost like this. I know it's freelancer and gig economy is not new, but now it's a hybrid of a gig relationship where it's because fractional CFO, fractional CMO is like, you can't afford $300,000 to hire me as your CFO. You pay me $100,000, but I work for 3 companies. And now I get the advantages. I get variety and you get a cost discount, but I still make my nut. I still make my full salary because I'm dividing the work by 3. I don't know. Like this could be something good. Shoot. I thought I had a great segment for today. And then Dave drops the golden ticket on us.
Well, let's go to your segment. What is your segment?
Let's do my segment.
Yeah. Let's.
Well, we have to do the intro. Jimmy loves the intros. What if I told you the diamond engagement ring, the most iconic symbol of love, was completely made up? Don't tell your wives this, right? It was made up by marketers in the 1930s. The 1930s, it's not even the engagement ring. The thing that lasts forever hasn't even been around for a century yet. Like, what a great method of storytelling. Today, I want you to steal one of the most successful behavioral marketing plays of all time and show you how to ethically reverse engineer and hack it to grow your practice or your business. So let's walk it back. De Beers in the beginning didn't just sell jewelry. They had about 10% of the jewelry market. They didn't sell diamonds. They didn't sell love. They sold forever. They created a sticky emotional belief. Diamonds equal love, commitment, and security. They attached emotions, and we talk about that a lot here. They attached an emotion to a tangible object. Then they injected it everywhere. They wound up going to the mattresses. Now, again, in 1930s, no social medias. Not doing it for the gram in the 1930s. What was everywhere? Movies, magazines, celebrities, school curriculums, and not just ads, right? Oh, we'll just buy a bunch of ads and saturate it. They got into the fabric of society, cultural saturation, right? They also defined, this is brilliant. They defined the price of the thing that they were creating. How much should an engagement ring cost, right? You ask your older brother, you ask your cousins, you ask your uncle, you ask your
1 month salary.
2 to 3 months salary, 1 month salary.
2 to 3.
But that's the idea. It's like, well, it's a month. It's a fraction of your overall yearly earnings. That's insane. But I knew how to answer that question, and I've never actually shopped for an engagement ring. They also created a guilt-fueled financial standard. She's going to walk around with that. If one of her friends looks at it, like, how much does he love you? Oh, that's a nice ring. I know he makes more than that. Why didn't he give more than that? It's behavioral engineering, not just marketing. Again, in 1939, only 10% of engagement rings had diamonds, less than 100 years ago. By 1981, 80% of engagement rings were diamonds. 2024, the market, $90 billion. And at its peak, De Beers controlled about 90% of global supply. That's awesome, dude. Thanks for talking about diamonds. How do we steal it and break it down ethically? Number one, I think you need to create your diamond belief. You need to have a statement, a clarion call, right? A diamond is forever. They took that and they repeated it, not just for a week, not a month, not a year, decades. I'm very sorry, but cultural change is not done in a trend. By definition, a trend comes and goes. So whatever your thing is, I don't care. And I've heard a lot of people have soapboxes, right? We should have an annual PT visit. You should have an annual. Stop trying to get the rest of PT to follow along. They're never going to follow along. Getting everybody to do anything is impossible. So choose a belief, attach an emotion, and then anchor your marketing around it. And then do it forever. Like it can't change. I'm very sorry. If you change, the belief will never land. Then saturate the local market, just like Diamonds did. Use patient stories, Dave, local talks, merch, email, social, front desk scripts. I want your front desk person that was hired a month ago to be able to recite whatever your deeply held belief is in their freaking sleep. I don't care if it's AI. I don't care if it's someone in the Philippines. They have to be able to lather, rinse, and repeat this. And then you build the offer. You have to be able to offer them something. There's the ticket. What do I do? QR code, phone call. There's the offer, right? Package something people can assume they should already be doing. Of course, I get my movement screen every year. Do you not? Do you not care about your body? I'm sorry, but the culture is ripe for this. Never before in human history have people been so concerned and aware about their health. The next 2 generations behind us are drinking less, right? They're taking care of their bodies. They're paying attention to what they eat. This is a layup. Like the environment, the atmosphere is perfect for this. You normalize it until it's expected. This is not a year. This is not a half a decade. This is a decade-long play. But if you're going to be in this profession, I'm looking at people who just graduated last month. This is for you. You plant your flag in this. Now, I do want to have the reverse. Why hasn't this worked? APTA has moved forward, right? Why hasn't it worked? I still don't think I think nobody cares about minutes or modalities, right? PT still sells the inputs, not the outcomes. I'm very sorry, but selling the outcomes, the thing that Dave's going to do, it's going to be a slow play, a long play, but a deep play. So people are still trying to feed their families day to day. So we're still trying to sell the minutes and the modalities. Can you do both? I think you can, but you have to make sure you do that long play. Most clinics don't pick a core belief. Tony, how many times have you talked to a clinic owner? Who do you help? What do you do? Everybody. I'm really sorry, but you're not Walmart or Amazon. You can't help everybody. Nike understands it. We help athletes. What kind? Athletes, doesn't matter. And then finally, the reason it hasn't worked or won't work for you right now is most people give up too soon. Cultural shifts take boring, relentless consistency. Sorry, people are very people-y. That's how it works. You have to stick with the message until your audience repeats it back to you. If you think you're over-communicating, quadruple it. Multiply it by 10. You have to keep going until they say it back to you. In the end, if De Beers could turn a carbon piece of rock under pressure into a $90 billion tradition, you can turn movement into the most valuable thing in someone's life. Just skip the monopoly and the mining and the blood diamond part and go right to helping people transform their lives. I
love this. Is that from a script? Like, were you reading like a screenplay or like what were you reading?
So I every morning
this
or every night
ChatGPT research.
It's an outline. So this is how, if I were to read a script, you'd be able to tell if it sounds like parsed down. It's because that's how we read things in radio. Just give me the bullet points. I'll connect the dots. It doesn't matter how I connect them. But I literally told ChatGPT, I was like, find me a marketing strategy that worked years ago, that's iconic now, that people would never think just didn't exist forever. Like when it told me like the 1930s is when diamonds became an engagement ring, I was like, 1930s? That's not even 2 generations ago. That's wild. And now it's not even a question. Like I was talking to a friend who has custom jewelry the other day, and he was like, listen, people, they can, the lab grown diamonds, you actually need to put it under like a chemical spectrometer to tell the difference. But even I'm not shopping for an engagement ring right now, but even I'm sitting here thinking, I know, but like, God, what if she found out, or what would people say? De Beers is in my brain going, what I spend equals how much I care. I could save a ton of money and get her an engagement ring and take her on a vacation. but will I risk it? Will she always think I don't care enough if I don't spend enough, as much as her best friend's husband did? Like, dude, this was a insane play. And here's the worst part. We don't even know who the person was that came up with this strategy. That person needs a plaque in the Marketing Hall of Fame. So it wasn't so much a script as much as it was, I did like to dig into the rabbit hole. And then I just asked ChatGPT to give me the beats.
Again, this is the research that we should be using to improve patient outcomes, to improve the quality of care. This is a playbook that plays out in all things, like college. I am so freaked out, not as freaked out as my wife, but I'm still pretty freaked out about telling my 11th grader, you don't need to go to college. There is zero value you're going to take out of college. But the society has been built around, you have to go to college to get a good job.
Yep.
He doesn't want a job. He's going to create something like, okay, so we see this across lots of professions, lots of stuff. Bring it into physical therapy. Now, where's the resistance? It's going to be, you're manipulating your patients. This is healthcare. Nobody should make money. Nobody, it should be altruistic through and through. But the sad part about that is, the more you strip healthcare from this kind of emotional commitment, this kind of impact, the less effective the healthcare is, no matter how objectively researched it is. So, this was done because somebody wanted to make a shit ton of money. And that was a major driving force that created this movement. So the question is, I would say, yes, an individual could probably do it, but I think most individuals in healthcare are not going to go to build a business this big. So why does an Athletico, why does an ATI, Ivy, any of these companies that are already kind of in that world, why aren't they going that direction? Or an organization, but I think it's going to be commercially driven.
I've been in those rooms, and I told you the reason why they haven't done it. Maybe they will now. Maybe this is the straw that breaks the camel's back. It's because you have to work 25 years to become the director of marketing at a multi-million or $1 million organization nationwide, and then this is a risk. Because look, who's done it? Nobody. I'll wait. Nobody's done it because it must not be a great idea. It must not work, right? Until it comes out in ad age and your boss comes in. And this used to drive communications people wild, but they're right. When your boss comes in and goes, why didn't we do that? Look what Nike did, right? This is the reason I do steal this strategy, is a lot of them aren't going to work. And a lot of them aren't going to be right for you. I want to find the elements that are right for you to take that out, put it in your pocket. When you have enough of those elements and then you put something together, this is what you come up with. You come up with this. Right? Slowly but surely over time, you understand oxygen and nitrogen and hydrogen. And you're like, oh, wait, what if we put these things together in the right conditions? Now we have something. But you're right. Most PTs hang around with other PTs and they watch what each other does. And when no one takes a risk, everyone stays still. And now we're the frog that boils in the pot. We're just sitting there. We're not even noticing that we're getting cooked. But if you don't move, you're going to get cooked.
I want to ask Tony directly. So the thing that Jimmy just pitched and presented, that what do you want to call it? Like that aspirational message, or that goal, whatever we're going to name what Jimmy just presented. Tony, is that something that you could see working? Is that something you believe in? I mean, I love it. I agree with it, but I know sometimes you think of things differently. Is that something what Jimmy just said? Do you agree with that?
Yes. 100% totally agree with it. I think it's our responsibility and obligation, not just to educate and inform, but to emotionally grab those strings and pull them. Now, you can use it for evil or you can use it for good, and then this has been obviously a topic we've discussed across social media. It's like, all right, I get patients in my clinic all the time saying, oh, I've got to go see my chiropractor. My hip is out. No, your hip is not out. Or I've got to go see my massage therapist. I was just reading, I think it was Pain Science, Paul Ingram, talking about massage therapists and how juicy it is when a massage therapist pushes on a sensitive muscle and says, oh, you're so tight. Do you feel that? Can you imagine? It's like a rock. And patients are seeking that. Patients are like, oh, that's a spot. Can you feel how tight? I can't even tell you now. I'm not a manual therapist, but I touch people. How many times a day patients are like, "Ooh, do you feel that?" Or "What do you feel?" They're dying. They're seeking that confirmation out, that validation to say, "Hey, yes, there is something objectively wrong here that I, the guru, the healer, the shaman, is going to fix." Clearly that's not my comfort zone, but like I could clearly take that, manipulate that, turn that into, well, it's going to take $5,000 for us to fix this, but you know, this is what you need. And then on the flip side, I've got a couple patients out there right now that, you know, I could pull at the adult children's heartstrings to say, hey, your mom and dad, they're going to die on the floor one day because you're not bringing them to therapy. You're not getting them to work on transitions from standing to supine on the floor back to standing. They're already falling. They're already having episodes like, and it's true. I've seen patients. I've had patients that died on the floor because nobody got to them and they couldn't get help. These are all elements of personal responsibility and emotions that we should be bringing in to use in a positive way to get the outcome we want.
I'm flashing on the screen. The one of the graphics I do a lot. I know Dave and Tony are going to roll their eyes, but these are the things you actually sell. I know you think you sell shockwave treatment or manual therapy. You do. That's a how. But what you're trying to convey are these emotions, right? So looking at this pyramid, and for the podcast audience, you can look at the live stream on YouTube, but look how high, remember, the higher you go on this pyramid, the more money you can charge for it. Look at where a diamond is. It's in my opinion, the icon is even a diamond. Like, look, they've permeated graphics. Heirloom. That's the second level from the top in the life-changing category. That's what they're selling. That's when they can say, this is I don't even know. What do engagement rings cost? $15,000, $3,000? Like, it depends. Here's the answer if you're a great diamond dealer. How much do you love her? Is this the only diamond you're going to buy, or is there going to be maybe a second one in 15 years? Well, absolutely not.
I can recall that they ask for your budget. And I'm like, well, and I don't want to say a number first, right? I remember this was 2013 or something when I was shopping for them. But yeah, they'll ask for like a budget, and then I'm like, well, I know this damn sales game, so I'm not even going to tell you a number. Just show me some rocks, baby. Let me see what I'm looking at.
So here's why it's important to pick a thing, because if you're in my opinion, selling movement is like, I don't know, selling something so non-tangible, right? These people are selling love, and I know an emotion is not tangible by definition. But you have to pick something.
It's what you can do with the motion, the movement, right? So going on the cruises, the trips, the vacations, Tony going off with his family for the canoe trips, the runs, his whole family runs 6-minute miles or whatever, something crazy, all that.
This is why it would be easier for a small clinic like a Doug from Run DNA. If he had a clinic at his studio, it'd be like, we help people get back to running and PR. Like,
I think he does have a clinic there.
Then brilliant. Then that's what his thing is, right? So it sounds counterintuitive. By focusing on a smaller audience, it's easier to figure this thing out. Again, nothing says you can't have several messages in your own clinic, but I wouldn't pick 50. I might pick 4 and then hammer on those things. Right? Because Nike, we help athletes. There's the arching goal. But of course, you have Nike running, you have Nike lacrosse, you have Nike baseball, you have Nike swimming, which I'm not sure. We don't wear shoes when we swim, but somehow Nike has Nike swimming. They figured out that they help athletes. So everything we're saying today, if you're like, I'm overwhelmed, number one, listen to the episode again, break it down. There's a transcript somewhere. Then you have to say, this is simple but not easy, because if it was, someone would have done it already. I still think I think a large organization is primed to do this just because they have scale. Beta test it. Do it in a couple. That would be even better. A/B test it. Do it in a bunch of markets. Pick a couple KPIs to track. Do it in a few markets. Do some cities, big cities, small cities. Rural. Go to Iowa, and then see where it does or doesn't work at other places. I think that's the only way to get someone to do it. Or you just hire us and we'll come do it for you.
Well, I think the challenge with this whole segment, I mean, we're all on the same page. We are also not prioritizing our time as correct. I want to be the best therapist. I'm here and not out there, because this to me is more impactful and more exciting. But I think a lot of the people that we're talking to, they want to be therapists. They want to be great therapists. And that's amazing because we need those people. But if they had the choice between going and treating a patient or thinking about conceptualizing, how do I build this into the culture of my business, they're going to go do that. So where this message I think would resonate more powerfully is, okay, who's the non-therapist who wants to harness the power of therapy, all of the greatness within the profession, and make it an accessible business for the general consumer. You know, now PE, private equity, gets a bad rap. It gets all this negativity, but that's what they do best. Like, they can distill it down into what's going to really sell, what's going to really scale. How do we move this across the country?
I'll tell you the people to approach if you wanted to go to an Ivy Rehab, an ATI with this strategy. You don't go to anybody in clinical role. You go to business development, right? Physician liaison, and you say, we're going to do this model. And we're going to make your surgeon look like a hero, and then talent acquisition. You go to the two biggest problems, right? So could you turn this into Rehab to Perform is a great example of doing this already. All their media, essentially, most of it is showing like why it's a great place to work without ever saying this is a great place to work. In fact, I bet you they never say that. They don't tell you it's a great place to work. They show you. How often? Every damn day. In what way? Every damn way. Like, I'm very sorry, but you don't have to convince someone like Josh is an anomaly at Rehab to Perform, in my opinion, because he is someone who's clinical. But if you talk to him for more than 5 minutes, he's talking more about culture and leadership and scaling and positions than he is about deadlifts and all those different things.
Is he the founder?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember listening to him in terms of growth and him like talking about his growth plan. I don't know if it was publicly or on the phone, and being like, okay, that's cute. And then he did it. And I was like, wow. Like, I figured maybe he'd hit half of what he said, and he didn't. He's opening like 2 a year. It's a little bananas. But I think it's largely because they put their balls out there and they say this, and they do what they say. They're not everything we just talked about. They've been doing most of it, some of it.
And I should walk back my comment a little bit. Craig's here, Scott's here. Craig's here, Scott's here, Stephen Dunn. Like, we do have people who are therapists, who are clinical, who are also business-minded, growth-minded, or building something.
They're the
I don't mean to say nobody here is going to do it.
They're the exception, right?
Yeah.
Like, who's watching a live stream about PT and business and marketing at 8:00 in the morning on a Thursday regularly? There are a lot. Like, we get lots of downloads, right? You're still the anomaly, which I still think, like, now, even if you are the 100th person to listen to us do it from our audience, you still be the top 0.0001% in the country. There's a lot of people out there. There's a lot more to win than there is that's already been won. I just want to put that out there for people. People get hurt every day. Let's start. We can't start another segment. We can't.
Well, I got a short one. I got a quick one, and a teaser. So next week, today's Thursday, next week, I want to talk about why I think the term primary care, whether it's primary care PT or whatever, I think it's a horrible mistake. We can talk about the conversation, using the term doctor, the pros and cons that we learned from arguments around, are you a doctor of physical therapy? Yes. Should you use the word doctor in your language? I think primary care is moving down this same dangerous road, and I don't think it's going to achieve what we want it to. Let's talk about that next week.
I like that.
What I've got to share here now, this was brought up. Let me see if I can grab it. This was brought up in a occupational therapy Facebook group. Kara Kettering Wecke, I can never say her last name. She shared this article, and I asked her to share it in my group. So this is from HHS OIG, Office of Inspector General, Greenfield. Now, this is not a physical therapy group, but we'll talk about it. Greenfield Health System agreed to pay $286,000 for allegedly violating the civil monetary penalty law by requesting payment from beneficiaries, Medicare beneficiaries, in violation of an assignment of agreement, basically when you accept assignment. So just real quick, self-disclosure to the OIG, Greenfield Health System. They agreed to pay the $286,000 fine for allegedly violating this act. They were charging annual memberships to Medicare beneficiaries.
Oh.
They also agreed to refund $573,000 to Medicare beneficiaries for the membership fees that they charged. I always struggle with balancing the anti-small business sentiment of government and, compliance with we're just here trying to help the consumer. The fact is, when you look at this at the base level, okay, so this medical group was charging Medicare beneficiaries a membership. You can't require Medicare beneficiaries to pay in order to receive Medicare benefits. So if they were requiring this membership be paid, that's a clear violation. I don't know. Did they have people on the staff that understood this? Were they doing it intentionally? My assumption is probably not. They just thought, hey, we want to help Medicare beneficiaries. We want to deliver a better outcome. Let's charge a membership for non-covered services and things that are, let's bring in more money so we can deliver a better service. That's always the situation. The fact of the matter is the people who are intentionally defrauding the government, who are intentionally stealing, they're not stealing $500,000. They're stealing $500 million.
Right.
They're not, self-reporting at this level. Like, this was probably a mom and pop shop that just thought they were doing something great, and turns out they violated the law.
Yeah.
And again, every time you try to do something helpful, beneficial, it seems like your hand gets slapped. You get penalized. I make more defensive decisions that harm patient care and outcomes just because it's not worth it. For the minimum wage I'm getting paid by Medicare, like, why would I take a chance on doing something wrong?
Yeah.
I'm going to give them the minimum standard of care that still helps them. I'm going to do the least amount of things that give me a chance of getting in trouble. And this is where healthcare is, because there's somebody somewhere who thinks they're helping protect the consumer.
Yeah, the juice isn't worth the squeeze. When I took over, and I'll give you like a radio parallel. When I took over the radio station at 25 years old, like, I was given like a $6 million a year radio station, which, by the way, I don't know if that was the brightest idea, Bill, but glad you did it. He said one thing. He said, your primary goal, make sure we don't lose our FCC license. Like, whatever risks you take, and I need you to take risks to stand out. Number one, your North Star. If you're in a room, if you're about to turn a microphone on, is there a chance we lose our license on this? If the answer is anything but hell no, don't do it. The upside is never, we lose our license, we are dead. You should think the same thing, right? From your license, your business license, your professional license. Is there a remote chance this is not illegal? Is someone like the OIG going to come in for this? If the answer is an absolutely not, there's no chance they come in. If that answer is an absolutely not, don't do it. Don't do it.
So, parting shots. I'm going to go first.
Hit it.
Hanging on this, it's why don't more people do more innovative things, more cool things, like create more, better businesses? This is why. Because when you do, you run the risk of violating some arbitrary law that was established out there at some time in the past that might not even apply to current time. The people who have something to lose, we're going to be in a more defensive position. So you have to play by the rules, but you still have to find a way to make something that people want to buy.
That's correct. Dave, what do you got?
Well, real quick, they're out of business. This Portland, Oregon Greenfield Health System. Did you see that?
I did not see that, but it would make sense.
So they weren't even that big. It wasn't like a huge hospital. It was like an urgent care or something. I
mean, how big could they be if they were refunding $500,000 in membership fees? Like, that's not a lot when you're looking at, what others have done or are doing.
Yeah. All right. Well, my parting shot, I agree with Tony. I have to say, this is what prevents creativity, advancement, different offers for different folks across the country. These fines, I mean, it sounds like It sounds like it was ridiculous. It sounds like it was an offer, like not even a mandatory charge. But that, and then also continue to be creative with your marketing, continue to look outside of the box. Hopefully the thing that I covered and what Tony and Jimmy kind of double clicked on with the golden ticket idea, hopefully that will help you in your practice with your marketing ideas. And feel free to use ChatGPT or Canva or whatever, recreate that. Feel free. If you use it, you got to let us know. You got to let us, maybe we'll have you on the show in the future.
Yeah, I want to hear. I would love for in 3 months someone to say like, "Oh, I did that, and here's what happened. Here's what I thought was going to happen, and here's what actually happened." My parting shot is about diamonds, man. De Beers sold you on a rock by making it mean something else, something inside. Like, brilliant move, man. It's not even 100 years old. So you're out here helping people move, live, and feel powerful. I don't know, man. That feels like more of a utility. That feels like it could be even more powerful. I feel like every PT and PTA knows this. It's time to make sure they can put words to it. So if they can sell diamonds, you can sell deadlifts. But first, you have to write the story, own that belief, repeat it, and you'll eventually make it stick. This was a good episode. This felt good.
Good job, guys. I thought you were going to say the Bears.
The Bears. The Bears. And if you have any diamonds you want us to take a look at, you can send them. I'll DM you my address right now. Back on Tuesday, we'll talk about primary care. Maybe we get some primary care experts to weigh in before that. If you use primary care, if you use that in your messaging, I want to hear from you. Gentlemen, have a good day. Have a good weekend.
All right, guys. See ya.